boom boom ba 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 boom ba 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 da 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 do 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 do. Predators.
Predators. Wow. Quite a good one there.
Took a while for me to actually use that one.
That was
That
good.
just goes
On
in my
deck.
brain sometimes. I'm Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over again.
Over and over. Deeper and deeper.
Deeper and deeper.
So what's this episode about? As a predator, we have to have a predator, correct?
Yeah, and this is ourselves. So a lot of the times we trick ourselves.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Can you use the word we're gonna use? I feel like that's like really tricky. You're like tripping on us.
Delusion?
Disillusion.
Not
Is it delusion
disillusion?
or
Delusion.
Oh shit! I looked up the wrong thing.
Yeah, you did. You most
Oh
certainly did.
jeez, that's gonna be a problem.
No, that's okay, because I'm
Well,
going to drive the conversation.
delusion. Good. I'm glad you will. Well, Dan, could you help me with delusion?
Yeah, it's
Is that a
where
thing?
you believe something is a fact without any veracity, without any truth.
Well, there's some truth to it, isn't there? Like you can create tiny truth nuggets, can't you?
It goes against logic or reason.
Hmm.
So,
Does it? Is literally that the definition of delusion? I actually don't know.
yes, yes, it is.
Interesting. So it's literally something you believe so hard, even though there's no real fact to back you up. You just
Yeah,
keep pushing at it.
contrary to any evidence that may appear.
Wow. So delusion is like believing a lie a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this kind of, like in my own life, where this has come up is kind of, I guess, the outcome of what I hope my life will be is that there's a
Hmm.
giant, like, piece of delusion there, like the American dream and the happiness you get from, having nice shit. It's like that shit doesn't really matter that much when you get to the end. It's like once you achieve your goal, it's just kind of like, oh, like I was, or maybe still am, deluded in that respect, where like the goals I have don't really make me happier, but they seem to. Maybe the pursuit of happiness is what I'm after, which makes me happy.
We're good lord, this is gonna get so deep because like that's where I was gonna go. Like, is it the end goal or like the pursuit of the end goal that makes you happy? And like that's like literally the last 10 minutes of the episode. But let's just jump there now. Like, so what's the goal? We want to pursue things so that we can be happy, like our hobbies, knickknacks, things we like, things we want to get into.
Yeah,
We
collections.
want to have a enough money and time to pursue those things. Correct? Makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Free to do what you want to do is the true goal. But I feel
and
like,
and be able to afford like cool versions of that thing, right?
yeah,
Like you don't want the shittiest version. You want a nice. If you're into
premium.
audiophile
Yeah.
guy, like yeah, you want some nice speakers. Yo, you save up your money and get really nice speakers. Now you're an audio guy. You get really nice speakers and a really nice audio player and a really nice audio collection, right?
Yeah,
Just need money and time to pursue these things.
yeah. And on a small scale, you can do that. I think when you get to like the grander schemes, once you achieve all those little ones, you realize that for like 99% of people, it's going to take them until they're old, until they're too old to enjoy things, and like the happiness gets sucked out. So the delusion keeps you going until you're like probably mid
Too
40s and you
late.
realize like I'm
Oh
already on the
dear.
decline. I'm already on like maybe you're on a plateau, but it ain't getting any better.
So so what do you do? Like is I'll put it this way: is delusion just a part of life? Like you really will start to believe something so hard because what else are you gonna do for 10, 15 years? I know we all say life is short, but life is long. Like you add up all those times you're sitting in a dentist chair or like sitting on hold with a company or driving into work and sitting at a red light. Life is long. So to fill life, I think there has to be this weird thing where you convince yourself you're doing a thing.
Yeah,
Like you
that you're
say like
important
all this waiting, all this sitting around, all this doing stupid shit that you don't want to do is for a reason.
for
And
purpose.
that's delusion.
Yeah,
Yes, you're building up. You oh, don't worry. I know you're waiting a long time, but it's to build to a thing. And then what if there's no thing?
so there was a movie, What Dreams May Come, which has
Never saw.
what Robin Williams in it, and the female
Never saw it.
actress is her name is Annie in the movie. I don't know what her real name is, but the whole premise is that she has a family. She loses her family except for Robin Williams, and then she can't cope with, I guess, the reality of the loss of her family. So she becomes delusional and believes that the only way to like escape her pain is through suicide. So she commits suicide and goes into like an afterworld. So like the whole movie is like I would say like a Monet. It's like almost like it's painted, and it's very like offsetting. So it shifts your perspective, and you're kind of like off kilter every scene. It just seems like a little bit skewed. And the whole purpose of the thing is that his wife was so delusional, and the only time that she was able to break out of her delusion was when he was able to be in the delusion with her and accept it. So they both accepted a life that was completely flawed, but because you're with somebody else, you both agreed to the reality that you made. Yeah, and it's okay, because I think a majority of human life is like dependent on another person to validate what you know, what you think, what you believe.
I don't disagree with that at all. That's kind of weird. Like, as long as you're like, could you imagine if you'd done the dumbest thing in the world, like push a button every morning at 8:08 p.m. or 8:08 a.m. Excuse me.
Dharma initiative.
And like people would cheer you and everything. Like, yes, a little bit, yes. It's so weird. That's funny. I never finished Lost. I didn't finish Lost. I got like 5 seasons in.
Doesn't make any sense. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. I kind of thought that might be where it was going, but good show. I liked it up to where I was. But how crazy would it be if there was some weird, non-based on anything value you had to do, and you did it every day, and you were adamant about it, and you worked hard at it, and people were like, "Woo!" and everyone was like, "Yeah, you do it, brother!" And someone was like, "Oh my God, he's so brave. He's still doing it." Like, is that enough value? I mean, does it matter? I have no idea. Is that what you're striving for in life? Because
if you're a star hockey player, like actually playing a game doesn't mean anything. Genuinely.
Hockey's stupid when you think about it. Genuinely, you're running around on blades, skating on ice, hitting a puck at. Who picked the size of the net? Who picked the size of the puck? Who picked the size of the pads? Like, it's all arbitrary, but we all agreed on it, and now you're the best at it.
Yeah, and you have all these people cheering your name. You probably become delusional.
Nuts.
There's like keeping your sanity when there's people like cheering you on. How do you not love that?
Your life is already dictated by it. You wake up at a certain time to practice for this thing, and like meet with certain people, and you train with the best trainers, and you have different devices that no one else even has to be better at a game that someone made up that's arbitrary. It's nuts. I mean, I don't disagree with you should do it if it's going to pay you, right? Or give you a laudish praise, but it's insanity, and you push it to the nth degree. You become so good at it. You become so obsessed with it. You can become obsessed with anything.
So this is where like delusion gets weird, is that like I've played games where the game starts to warp your mind in a way that you like the game, so you like letting it warp your mind. So there are a few games, Call of Duty for one, that we both know in a way that I doubt most people do. Yeah.
We warped it. We warped that game 100%. I knew where all the cover spots were. I knew how long the sprint button lasted. I knew how long grenades lasted. I could move in a certain way that would dodge bullets. Like, let's just be honest. But it had nothing to do with the game itself. I just learned the game in a different way.
Feel it. You don't have to think about it. You just know. You know it's going to happen this way. You can tell by the way things like feel around you that, oh, that guy's going to show up in this corner 99% of the time, and you're going to be able to get him. Like, you know. Otherwise, you're going to play it differently. So that was one game. There's also, for me, personally, it was like EverQuest, which I played way too much of. BioShock, which was like way immersive. There's Katamari Damacy. It's the one where you roll up all the pieces.
Yeah, I know 100%. Did they ever make different versions of that game? I feel like they should have, or did.
I don't know, but the music in that,
I know the original was so good. Wait, and how about just the dude smiling with his hands on his hips and like his package clearly visible?
He wearing tights.
I love that game.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he was wearing his tights. Dude, I love rolling up like smaller things, getting bigger and
Doesn't
bigger
that
and
mess
bigger.
with your mind? Like, I can't draw. Like, after playing that game for like a straight week, I would drive around town and be like, "Oh, I wish I could roll up
Look
those
at
pigeons
things
right
you
there."
could roll up. Oh, I actually, yeah, I agree with that. So, where does it even tie into disillusion? Like, or delusion, excuse me. So,
So,
I love that game.
so
It's
right
so good, so
now,
good.
like we did an episode a little bit at the beginning was Factorio, and like that's one of the games is like even while I'm like you can save during the game, and my saves are like please stop, like don't play this, like you are addicted to this game, stop now. And
Is
I
that what
would
you named them?
yes.
That's hilarious. It's like, please help me, someone help, and you're like, I could load the old games today, having a nice one. Meanwhile, someone is screaming, "Stop! Please stop!" That's
Yeah, it's a
hilarious.
help me version 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and you just
I mean, you didn't rename the help me save, so I mean, you
you
could have
might as
been in
well.
that much
Yeah.
duress. You might as well.
But there's something in that. So with like coronavirus, all this stuff going around, and all the different like logic that just seems so flawed. Like I see these other people that are obviously delusional, and it makes no sense to me. So like the sanity that I'm getting from this game is that like I can like add and remove things, and they're very precise and like it,
Controllable. You know the
yes,
results.
yeah. I also like I feel like I'm almost like borderline autistic because like the way I'm responding to it is very like has to happen, has to be this way. I have to check this. I have to like oh wait this thing is missing. Oh I gotta go check that. And it's just like a
It's an
giant cascade of
it's an,
things that have to
it's
be
an
taken care of.
OCD type reaction where OCD isn't so much a disorder as it is a ability to predict long-term events chain reaction wise. And when they don't go that way, it messes with your mind. So you're
Probability.
like, if I do X, it does Y, it does Z, it should do A again. And then we should
Mm-hmm.
trigger B and C. And when it doesn't, it's like, fuck, fuck. Like, what did I do? Fuck. And it's like, I gotta do it again so that X does this. But it's almost like a grand play, like a Rube Goldberg machine, where like
Mm-hmm.
you created all these different things and you've literally thought them out. So you put some time into it, you put effort into it, you set it up perfectly. It should work perfectly. Why didn't it? Like an angry thing. Like it's
Yeah.
almost an angry thing. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what you're feeling, which isn't. Is that OCD? I guess it is, but not really. Is that like borderline autism? I have no idea. They're related to it. Like, do you know what I mean? How they
Yeah.
touch on it?
Yeah.
Weird.
So this is where it's predatory on yourself. Is that like
Hmm.
this game? It's procrastinating. It's probably not great for me, and I get way into it, and I'll spend I'll ignore
Way
important
too
things to
long.
do it. And this is borderline
Yeah, your
on gaming
children
addiction.
starve.
Yeah.
I think your one kid starved to death, right? That was
Yeah.
crazy.
It only took him like 3 hours. I don't know. That's impossible. I don't know how. But you can let yourself be delusional if it makes you happy. So this is the point where like I think delusion is actually like reality is when you realize that you'd rather be doing something else because you're happier doing that other thing, which is not real. But the fact of the matter is that like how much of what you do is real. So
Yeah.
doing the thing that makes you
Well,
happy, even though it may not be real, it might be a good delusion.
what's real? I mean, what's the alternative? Oh, instead of working in the coal mine, is that real? I mean, you're doing that for someone else to make money. I mean, you never would have went to a coal mine to mine coal by yourself.
Just casually.
So, yeah, just going to the coal mine, honey. Thought I might mine some minerals. You know what I mean? Like,
Get my old
there's
pickaxe
no.
out. Shine it
All
up.
right, shining the pickaxe, honey. So whatever you're doing is almost like, in a video game sense, acquiring skill points, acquiring
Hmm.
raw materials. And you're doing that in real life too. So what's to say it's more real to do it in a video game form versus a what your boss wants you to do it form? Because your boss is going to ask you to do some bullshit mining on Salesforce or bullshit calling out on these accounts or bullshit. Like there's always bullshit. It doesn't. None of it's kind of real.
Yeah. Which layer of bullshit do you want to buy into?
Exactly.
Which one? Which
That's
layer?
kind of
Which layer are you comfortable with?
which layer of bullshit are you doing today? What would you say though to someone who's there's an argument to be made where I'm utilitarian. I think the greater amount of good for the greater amount of people, greater amount of good for the greater amount of people is the
Mm-hmm.
greater good. The argument against utilitarianism is a matrix machine, where we're all in these matrix machines that insert into our brain and make us live these really good lives, but we sit in a chair and we never move.
Sounds great.
If they're if they're happier that way, is that the better way to live?
If you can avoid reality, is it
Yeah,
better?
yeah,
Well,
for sure.
if you're still providing good for other
They have
people,
nutrients.
yeah, overall
I don't
good
know.
is more.
No, they're tied into a machine. I mean, that machine's literally just for them. It's an entire universe built into a, database. Who knows?
Cloud,
It's a matrix.
yeah,
I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's the iCloud. No one knows 100% how it works. It's a lot of networking and, coding.
yeah, a lot of magic.
Is it better to leave the person in the matrix machine or wake them up and have them experience life for real?
This comes back to you needing other people. So eventually, you're going to come out of the delusion, and what you put into it will be, it'll evaporate, it'll disappear. But if you can share these experiences with other people, multiplayer games, or actually have a significant other.
Did you just goddamn say, hold up. Like, I thought you were going to say fall in love with other people and, like, human touch, and you were like, multiplayer games. Like, holy shit. You just blew it out of the water. That's amazing. I think I know your answer. That's incredible.
That's, yep.
Shit. Multiplayer games it is. Multiplayer matrix. Yeah, we got it. We don't need people. That's pretty good.
I think we can end there. No.
Damn.
But yeah, you
Damn.
can make a life. You can make a real life, aside from playing video games, but aside from being in whatever like belief system you are in. I guess you could be delusional with some other person, and that's okay as long as you're not hurting other people. But eventually, I guess you have to realize that there's like a base understanding, and if you're ignoring that, it's probably not the best course of action because it's probably going to make you more delusional in the end. Yeah. Multiplayer
I don't
games.
disagree. Multiplayer games it is. We're all playing multiplayer, folks. Or as my son calls it, Minecraft 2 match. So,
Nice.
wow. Thanks for tuning in. To sum it up, I would say everything's bad and we're all
Share the
deluded.
experience. Yeah.
But share the experience.
Predators.